welcome back to the Phoenix Wright trilogy, or what I like to call Phoenix Wright Revisited. So last time, remember, we actually started on this case. We went through the longest 2 days ever known on said case, on any case rather, of this series. And we're about to lay it down. Now mind you, for this one, I'm only going for the good ending, because if you go for the bad ending, well, it all matters on what you say at the end, and excuse me, whatever you say at the end, it will turn out to be bad. So let's not do that. Of course, you get an achievement for it, but I'm not doing it for achievement. So we're just going to aim for ending it, okay? So let's start off things by going into our file like so. And, well, we enter the first part of the final part of the trial. So, let's begin. It's gonna be one of those. You can already tell it's gonna be one of those. I will say that after I'm done with Justice for All, I'm gonna take a short break. Like, say, maybe a few weeks from Phoenix Wright. Finish some other projects, and then possibly come back to the trilogy and end it by doing the last part of it, of the original trilogy, Trials and Tribulations. How did I get into this mess? Remember this part? That's far enough! You can't run forever. Naruto! Yuichi! That does look like Final Floss now, doesn't it? What? What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence! You are no longer worthy of your title. I've had this dream before. Someplace. Some time ago. as if this day was written into my destiny. Today, I'll stand in court as a lawyer. To prove a killer innocent. March 23rd, 9:43 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Hello? This is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You gotta prove me not guilty today, right? If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too.
Now listen up. You'd better get a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever!
Phoenix! Phew! Maya! How's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. What am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please! There's nothing left, not here, not anywhere. Stop the cursing and go again! Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore! I mean it!
You're really mean, pal.
Gumshoe! I'm really sorry. Where are you?
They let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal.
Then you have some sort of lead.
Sorry, but right now, we've got 0 leads on the guy. But, we're not going to give up.
Gumshoe.
Until the trial's over, until the verdict is handed down. We're going to do everything we can and find the killer. If we can get Mai out, then you can get on guard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal.
That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first.
You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer.
I have to make the trial last longer?
If you go at Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got, then you two can draw it out.
No, I can't.
I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all we've got, pal. Just like you.
Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey, you understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. Yeah! Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through, I know it. March 23rd, 10 a.m. Colt is now in session for the trial of Matt on Gold. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery began what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder. That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Ungard. And then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. And then you're saying that she is guilty after all. I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a ship.
This is the calling card of a certain assassin.
Assassin, you say?
Yes. One corridor was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matt on guard.
What a surprising turn of events!
I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on this time. So I know that everything is rehearsed is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can. At least until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today.
And now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please.
Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I am a poor, underpaid action star.
And what is your relation to the defendant?
Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way. Yeah. Mr. Powers, please. You don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry.
Well, but I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy.
On the night of the murder, you visit the defendant's room. Is this correct?
Yes.
I don't know.
But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went.
All you need to do is answer what you're asked.
Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Madame God's room.
Okay. Sure. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume.
He was talking with someone. At first I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had kids with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person Mr. Ungard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy, what are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Eh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right? One, two, three. Getting a bit of button lag. At first? What do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform and he had a bottle of juice on a tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. I guess I'm going to have to write personally on this one. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant together, correct? Yeah. The bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So, how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two. So, who are these guests you're talking about? pearl. I thought it would be really rude since I invited you guys if I disappeared on you. So I went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. This is like squeezing water from a stone. It's probably pointless to press further. Do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night?
I don't remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in her hyper state. I ended up focusing on her.
In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long.
At first. What do you mean by that?
Anything you know about that?
How is supposed to... Hey, wait a second.
Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago, you stated... You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? One moment. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself?
Ah! Yeah! That's it! You really know your job.
Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? It's amended to... Matt gave the bellboy a tip. So he gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that? Well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was? But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. It sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of the shocking moments I should ask about. A tip. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips. Wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much. Would you please clarify fully about how much would you say the defendant gave to the billboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash?! Oh, well, how interesting. That certainly wasn't very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. That can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. Praise, please. You're guilty! The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical. Fair for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting?
It's kind of funny. I don't even get paid let alone roll the cash for all the life I work.
So supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment. Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Wang Koida, then the bellboy the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of that. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of this, no? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelly DeKeller left at the scene of the crime. Shelly DeKeller? He is the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin. Shelly DeKeller! Really? What What's wrong, Mr. Powers?
No, nothing. There's something just clicked in my head, and I think I just figured something out.
Oh? Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night.
What?! Mr. Powers, please testify! Tell us what you saw!
Yes, sir. Right away.
The second time.
This time, I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean one corner's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kind of out of place. So he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean,
Thank you very much. That is all we need for now.
Huh? But I'm not done. There's still more.
Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. Dick Killer, then we shall see.
So, the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is very obvious.
That would be correct, Your Honor.
Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn.
To entertain and make us laugh?
Ha! 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 This is no laughing matter.
And what this time was it?
Well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended around 8 p.m., right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that, and then I came back. And then I went to the bedroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8:10 p.m. by that time. You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers?
Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats.
Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah. And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform after all. But, you see, well, he had those stitches in his face. I'm sure the same guy that was talking with Matt. So, which room did the bellboy come out of? The victim's room. Huh? Yeah? The one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears? It was Juan's room, alright. Words cannot describe how scared I am. Let's continue with the testimony, shall we? So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin?
Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next.
The bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed. That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powell. But is it really that unusual for a billboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers testimony slide or try to pull faster? There is nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is? There really isn't! If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness' previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Reiji! Are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well, this court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powell, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. I thought it was kind of strange for a bellboy to come out of a guest room empty-handed. So you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Really? Suspicious? I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand, and there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice. What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. If we could come up with some sort of reason as to why he would come out empty-handed, some sort of proof, then I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? So Look at my just for the court record!
So you're saying that this right here is what you say is so weird. Yay! Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and... So? A baseball has stitches. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also... I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Koya's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now it's probably smelling. If you look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Corda's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. Oh! But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. Ah, but can you prove that Mr. Corda was already dead at that time? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm telling you something. What is with you? What are you laughing? Witness. Isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us?
Is there?
The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah! I almost forgot.
Huh? Why?
That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention him earlier?
Sorry.
It slipped my mind.
Why doesn't make the bellboy look really suspicious?
Alright. Got the focus. I can't get lost here.
So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves.
Come on, Mr. Wright.
That bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, a football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather?
But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And, one moment, he was seen wearing the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy.
It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest?
Oh, yes. Please, tell us more. Okay.
Okay. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door just like that. He gave something to the person inside of him. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So, the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room.
Yeah, I kind of saw that by accident.
So excellent. I'd say you saw too much.
And all of it was suspicious to high heaven.
I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we, Mr. Wright? Your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
I said, hold it!
Okay.
That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Okay.
I should probably ask him only one question at a time. About this substance.
He gave something to this person. Yeah. And what was this something?
If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I?
But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers?
I think it was kind of small. This is an incredibly crucial piece of information. Please, try to remember what it was. I'll try. In the meantime, let's talk of another point, namely what the bellboy did next. Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing,
is that what you saw while you were busy spying?
Excuse me? I may be a poor, underpaid action star. You're still getting paid, dude. Stop saying you're poor. But even I wouldn't stoop to spy. Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? From the door of the bathroom with my left eye, and it's sort of sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying! Please. Does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know.
We get that. So the next thing we ask. So next we should ask is about the person inside. So who took this something the bellboy handed off?
Actually, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm.
Only an arm?
Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm.
Yes. It was just like that. Excuse me. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important?
Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance.
This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client.
Mr. Powers, please, try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. I think it was... If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I would say for sure, but it was some sort of wooden statue.
Well, in that case, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about this, right?
Idiocy! What was the point of that pregnant pause?
What? Yeah, that line right there. Edgeworth, what the fuck was that, man?
Where did the objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor.
What is it, Phoenix?
I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright! If you have something to say, please spit it out! Yes, Your Honor. Okay, you... Deep breath.
Mr. Powers. That's something you saw. Was it this item?
Oh, hey! That's it, that's the something! Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out.
I recall we found this at my uncle's mansion.
At the defendant's house? What does this mean?
It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the killer assassinated Juan Corda in his room. And then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Miss Angard's mansion would mean
it goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Matongard is the killer's client. Order! 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Scott.
No, it's alright. No judgment was wrong. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have.
I almost forgot that he knew how to chew.
I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial.
I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked.
Your Honor! A minute, please! Yes, Mr. Wright?
there are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to prove? Oh, well, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further?
The bear itself.
I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear is Mr. Wright. This was found at Mr. Ungard's mansion. However, Mr. Ungard was arrested at the hotel that night. Which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Ungard who took this bear to his mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Disaster averted. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Ungard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time, he was the killer. The killer and Ungard were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at Ungard Mansion as its butler. What a bold move. The bear figurine was brought back to Ungard Mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Ungard had him do so. Something like Dr. Swan. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during the investigation.
I'll get you, Gadget. Next time.
Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can check at all? I had to try. I had to find something else. What will you do now, Mr. Wright? Do you plan to? I plan to expose a clearly I plan to expose a clearly shaky place in Mr. Power's testimony. What? There's still another one. There is indeed, Your Honor. And it's questionable, and it's quite a questionable point. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. All right. Next we ask, who received the bear? There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear. And that is the identity of the bear who... and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear. We can't be sure of... Ah! Hamaranda! Oh. What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Yes, sorry. Actually, so I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm, it was the Nickel Samurai's arm. I swear it. You got to be kidding! Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Order! Order! It looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times is that today? Everyone was killed. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt on guard is the Nickel Samurai. Thanks to defense, we've made that all the clear. I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Mount Ungald. I see no reason for this trial to continue, therefore I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? Yay! I will now announce my... one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now, we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one. He accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two. That very same figurine was found at On Guard Mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I am saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client. Yes. Is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the killer's real client and therefore the real murderer? I draw. Adrian Andrews. Adrian Andrews. Yes. We already know that she tried to frame Matt on guard for the crime by wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Then the nickel samurai's arm that I saw, that could have very well been That could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Miss Longold? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. Ongar's mansion? It was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. Trial! Come on, anyone can tell it is. I can't believe the defense would go so far to go so much. Yeah! I believe it was not brilliant, but... The state lawyer. This is the state lawyer. world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order! 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 I have gas. Oh, excuse me. All disrupted parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor. For the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense theory. Mr. Wright, even if you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did specifically bring them here to unguard him. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself.
I see.
Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. That has been the longest 90 minutes I've ever had to do. Because the part took a little longer than 90 minutes. And the phone rings. March 23rd, 11:54 a.m. District Court, lobby number 3, and the phone has blocked the call. Thank you. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt onto Adrian. I swear this demon will pay!
Mr. Dick!
Pearl? Where's Mia?
I don't know. I really struck power, so we called her away.
A really strong
Oh, Mr. Dick! You found it!
It's from Gumshoe. How's it going? Are you hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch on to. That's good, pal. And what about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and mine are? We still don't have any leads, but... What?! We don't don't have any more time! If we just had one! Even a single clue would be really helpful! I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But have I just run out of luck this time? Is all our hope for naught?
A tent!
Huh? A tent?
I can see a circus tent!
Mia! It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you. Wait! She's locked in a dusty little room right now. But I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe! Is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. The Very Big Circus. Maya is somewhere within a 300 radius of the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey! Draw a circle on that map. About a 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hey! And? I could see a mailbox under the window just outside. Gumshoe! There's also a mailbox! Okay. What else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it's a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. It felt like I was in an old office building, maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her! An old office building! Get stuff, pal! Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck! I'll call you later! So don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Yeah, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please, hurry! Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. March 23rd, 12:05 p.m. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? All right. Why does she look fuckable? I mean, okay, so what we're gonna do here. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. So this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it? Yes. It looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. It looks like there really was something to that bear after all. I still want to go through here. Here we go. A puzzle? That's right. But it looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. So, what kind of puzzle is this exactly? So, you can take it apart, and how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right, and then push it in. Oh, yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. This is most interesting. A boy and his new toy. It's like he's flying all over again. Don't mind me. Go ahead and I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? Oh, don't mind me. I'm just having fun. And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you? That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear. I thought it would be perfect for one. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. So, who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland. So I doubt there are that many people with this same bear in this country. But this looks like it can be easily broken. Especially if someone wanted to get at what's inside. Well, you're toy. But it can never be the same again once it's been broken. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you. Then of course that means Mr. On Guard didn't know, right? For now. A wooden puzzle with a hollow inside. Only Corda and Andrews know how to open it. Oh. Yes. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize. That there is one very important fact we have uncovered, and that this bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there is only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we are going to find out next. Witness. Yes. You are the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted?
What is that? It looks like a note.
I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note.
The suicide note.
The suicide note left by Juan Cordo's former manager, Celeste Inpax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts. But just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Cordo himself. It seems Celeste Inpax had very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness! Did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public. But I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right, at least that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note be made known. I can't stop this, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. And I was going to burn it for his sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note out loud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Inpax left to us a record of all that had happened to her, about being used and then thrown away by On Guard, about being engaged to Corrida and On Guard's role in destroying that, and about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all. Hollywood, am I right? Hollywood, folks, am I right? And that's all Miss Inpax had to say. There is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. On Guard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference.
My word.
Matt on God values, above all else, his refreshing like a spring breeze image. Which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost.
Found inside a figurine. Tells of Vanguard's horrible misdeeds.
How terrible! What a silly version! I guess they're slightly well large. There's no room for doubt here. Mr. the killer's client's goal was to obtain the suicide note. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. So I was supposed to escape from this one. Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called you yet, so you know what you must do. I have to carry on and buy you some more time. Okay. There are two deadly pieces of evidence. The figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of this situation through one of those. The gavel's already in the judge's hand. Phoenix, hurry! The suicide note, the figurine. Which one should I pursue? The note. No, the figurine.
Objection!
Idiocy!
Please wait, Your Honor.
Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's still not at it? He doesn't care that he gets off the hook. The assassin took this with him from the crime scene after murdering. Yeah, let me start this again. The assassin took this with him from the crime scene after murdering Mr. Cordell. At the request of his client, of course. So, what's your point, Mr. Wright? I don't think it's possible that Mr. the Killer's client was Madame Guard. In fact, I think there is a contradiction here. You can't tell by just looking at it that this bear is really a jewelry box. The chance that Matt on guard thought the note was inside this bear are 0 to none! Oh! I didn't think of it that way.
Exactly. But I did think of it that way. And I thought it was rather strange. After all, there is no reason why Mr. Ungar would ever want a jewelry box like this.
Order! Order! Order!
You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth,
What is your opinion?
it was just a flush, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. It's not even Danganronpa! Come on, man! I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It is a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Man on guard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And the victim, one corridor, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt on guard. Order! Order! And Mr. Wright! Yes, Your Honor. You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright! I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking that I have the camera that was in the supper's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch, using this By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Madison Gold's fingerprints were on there? Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Angar learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. Thank goodness, sir, I don't have anything to cover that! Hey, now what the hell are you thinking?
Mommy, is that man that's back here? Guys,
Just stop. Don't look at him. Wait, he's sweating it just ew, nasty. Phoenix. Yes, Chief. Have you figured out what you're going to do next? What I'm going to do next? What are you looking for in child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edwards is very close to putting the lid on this case. But in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? there's a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate. I would really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance.
Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that we are talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at? Or should I let it go? I must present some evidence. I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright. Idiocy! Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You are beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor! Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing.
Hey, isn't that what I just said?
Yes, you did. So you're telling me that I forgot something. You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something that you really should examine about this piece of evidence. That right there. That's Miss Inpax note, right? Who knows? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside this bear. But this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on this suicide note has yet to be analyzed. Oh. So, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Inpax or not, that has yet to be even remotely confirmed. Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting...
Mr. Wright, are you saying the suicide note is a fake?
Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Ungard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? dare you? Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. Yurie! But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. She broke her glasses. Miss Andrews, how many glasses are you wearing right now? You wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame that on guard. I did no such thing. Right! If you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory. Yurie! Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. Oh! That's enough, Mr. Edgeworth. Can you confirm the handwriting on the suicide note? It is as the defense has stated. The handwriting has yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. Impossible? That's impossible! This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate. Everybody else is my bad! I'm not guilty! Look at it! I tell you that! I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty! 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 What is that sound? It's Gumshoe. Hello, Gumshoe. What is with him and what was that fly? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was someone to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway,
What's going on?
we found his hideout. Pal. But the two of them were already gone.
This is terrible.
I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. Just need a little more time.
But
Don't tell me we don't. We don't have any more.
they're all saying that. We all know that right now. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head!
Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... Oh!
What is it?
Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that.
Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after... Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth! Catch! Mr. Edgeworth! Please! You've got the blast one more time! Court is in session.
God damn, that's cold, huh? I'm sorry, Your Honor, you were saying? Mr. Wright! This is a court of law!
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but... I am reluctant to do this, however. It appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day.
Until...
Please wait, Your Honor.
What is it, Miss Edgeworth?
I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. But wouldn't it be better if we adjourn for today and reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honor. That's all I am asking for. Please! Your Honor! Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. March 23rd, 2:04 p.m. Right. Well, what's going on with my situation? The killer. It looks like he got away again. 30 minutes. We can't find her in that time. Report! Ah! Is that you, Mr. Ashworth? We don't have time! Just spit it out! Right! It looks like we just missed them, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away. A few things. Can we use any of them as evidence? Oh! I thought you'd ask, pal! I've got the things he left with me right now, and I'm on my way over. Really? That's all. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime office. We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir! When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff around. What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I got to put the law on hold for now. Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble for this. With my hook and junk card, I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. All right. Just get here in one piece. I'm on a mission, and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light. I'm left by the murderer. Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. God damn, that's the fastest 20 minutes I ever heard. Look at that, he ran in real like a... Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me! No one can stop me! What happened? It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What? What was he thinking? We got to hurry and call for help. But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken, and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No! We can't let that happen! Well, if there's a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance. Why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at this moment? There's a way. That's right, there is a way. What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through with this. Why are you bringing up May at a time like... Oh, I see. I'll try and get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have. Shishka. Will she even want to help us? Edgeworth. Or in this case, if we're out of the courtroom, be Reiji. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty. But what I'm doing now, I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say, defense attorney Ryuichi Naruhodo chooses death. Naruhodo. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict. Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. Said it was extremely urgent. They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. And with that, we're actually going to stop right here. And in the next part, the conclusion to Farewell, My Turnabout. So we are going to save and drop one right there like so and amplify this. And after that, we're going into the final half of this trial. So stay tuned. The finale of Justice for All Revisited is coming at you right after this. Thanks so much for watching.